Today I wanted to make a video about drawing. I wanted to make a drawing tutorial, but I decided to instead make this video because everyone is finally talking about an issue that I think has to be talked about. It's the issue of moderation on YouTube and Twitch. And I would also like to add to the equation a couple more social media platforms, which are Instagram and Twitter. Now, if you're a content creator, whether you're large or small, you surely already heard about unfair treatment, unfair enforcement of the rules by social media platforms. Right now, with Corrigention, it has been brought um, uh, to wider attention. A lot of YouTubers are talking about it finally. A lot of very large YouTubers are talking about it. I've seen Jacksepticeye talked about it. Corrigention, of course, talked about it. Many people are talking about it. And I think it's wonderful. I think it's really time that people finally talk about this. Because I, unfortunately, also had some experiences with this. Not on YouTube, because on YouTube I'm still a small creator and I basically just started. I only have 466 subscribers, which, to me is a lot, but I do understand that, in YouTube terms, it's not much, right? And thank you all for subscribing, by the way. I really appreciate it. However, on Twitter, I do have a lot more followers. I have 23,800 followers, and thank you all very much. And I joined on November 2020, the doom year. And throughout my Twitter life, I've experienced a lot of suspensions, I would say, temporary suspensions that are very odd. All right. Um, I really don't want to give you my, I don't want to show you my diploma, like that, because I think it's just not the case. But just to give myself some credibility, I just graduated high school in computer science. So I think I kind of know what I'm talking about. And to be quite frank with you, even if you don't have a diploma in computer science, I think that it doesn't take a diploma to understand being treated unfairly by a company, right? Or by anyone, but in this case, a company. Now, it's very clear to me, and I'm going to speak about, everyone has already spoken about YouTube, and Charlie just made a video even about Twitch. I think we all know about the, Twitch simp moderators. I think it's not really a well kept secret. Everyone knows it. Girls literally spreading their pussy on the, live on Twitch, literally just get like a 3-day suspension, while someone just saying the word fuck sometimes get permanently suspended. So there is definitely something going on there. I think it's really not I think it's not a secret. When it comes to racism on YouTube, I personally don't know. But definitely from the way Corey Kenshin has been treated, and the fact that they only took him seriously only when he showed the YouTube videos of white content creators, it definitely raises a lot of doubts. It definitely makes you raise your eyebrows, right? And also the fact that YouTube is not really giving any clear explanation only gives more doubt, right? Only raises more doubt. Now, I would like to talk about also moderation on Twitter. Now, the moderation on Twitter, Twitter claims that basically when you're getting suspended, when you're getting your account locked, a person from the moderation team carefully reviewed your account. That's a lie. All right, it's very clearly a blatant lie. It's clearly a lie because the reason of why, like the reasons for the suspensions of accounts, sometimes even permanent suspensions, are things that are completely taken out of context and are just very clearly detected by an automatic algorithm, because any human being that would see the reason of why an account gets suspended, sometimes unfortunately even permanently, is very clearly something ridiculous. Like, for example, I'm dying of laughter, and Twitter can suspend that account for attempted suicide just because the algorithm very clearly detected I'm dying or something like that, right? Just something that is completely taken out of context and very clearly detected by an automated system. right? So that's how it works. Now, the sad thing about the Twitter automated system is also its appeal system. The appeal system of Twitter is very clearly exactly like the appeal system of YouTube. It is also automated. Like that's the part where the human factor should come in, right? Should come into place. It should come into place already when they're deciding to suspend an account. It shouldn't be left, in my humble opinion, to a to an automated system that is very clearly flawed and apparently even outdated. But I digress. All right, I know that it would be very hard to put a person or a group of people or to make a system or a team or whatever to detect manually to moderate a social media platform as large as Twitter with millions, if not billions, of tweets written every day. Now, the issue is that the appeal system is also automated. So when you appeal a suspension on Twitter, chances are nothing is going to be done about it. Probably nothing is going to be done about it because the same suspension system that blocked your account for something that was completely taken out of context is also reviewing your appeal of suspension and is also going to re-review your suspension and is going to take it out of context again and is going to deem the suspension valid. So it's completely useless to appeal a suspension on Twitter. And the same thing also can be explained by the same logic on YouTube, which is why when Corey Kenshin appealed his ban whatever restriction of age restriction or something like that, right? Um, he also got rejected, and YouTube considered, deemed the suspension, the restriction to be valid because it's the same system that just re-reviews it essentially, and reconcludes that the suspension is right. So it's completely flawed. Now, the other thing that I would like to talk about, and by the way, before moving on to Instagram, I think it's also fair to say it's also important to talk just briefly about this thing of racism. As I said, it definitely raises some eyebrows that they're not given any explanation, and the fact that they lifted the suspension only when he did in fact show another white person's account. That definitely raises a lot of question, and I think that yes, there might be merit to that claim. Unfortunately, it would not surprise me considering how unprofessional these companies are. I mean, we've already seen Activision, I think it was, with the people drunk, fucking jerking off to other co-workers. Like it's completely disgusting, borderline super creepy like stuff, really. Which is really what you would expect from these. I'm a Gen Z person. I'm 19, and I honestly, when I see this kind of stuff, I'm just so happy that I'm not a millennial, because all of these like millennials just seem like fucking batshit insane. I don't know what's wrong with you, but like there is something odd, honestly, going on there. It doesn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if these suspension, teams, if these moderation teams are actually racist or sexist or whatever they are, or xenophobic or whatever, because they clearly are just not professional, not ethical at all, unfortunately. Another thing also that I would like to talk about is Instagram. Instagram is known for being basically the Mormon Christian, social media platform that if it sees a nipple, you're fucked, right? Your whole thing is just it's gone, right? Um, well, very clearly, even that is very, and I do mean very unfairly applied. Those rules are very unfairly applied to the users. For example, I know of the thing about Kendra Sunderland. Well, this woman literally sucked a dick, well, sucked a dildo, on live after flashing her breasts, and she got suspended permanently. And usually, when you're suspended permanently, you're gone, right? When you're suspended permanently, you're gone forever, right? And she was verified, by the way. And I'm going to come back to this thing of verified on Twitter just at the end of this video, because there is one thing that I forgot to mention. But Um, when you are permanently suspended from one of these social media accounts, you're gone. All right. And she was also verified, so they clearly knew who she was, right? So she got suspended for that. All right. Seems fair. Now, I don't have anything wrong with her. I would like to say I don't have anything wrong with sex workers. I'm also like following her on Instagram, and I think that she's really a nice person. So I don't want this to be seen as me hating Kendra Sunderland or anything. All right, I think she's cool, but um, I think it was fair for her to get suspended after she did that on Instagram Live. She did something that was, according to Instagram's TOS, was extremely forbidden. Right. Um, well, now she's back, and now she's back. Her account has been reinstated, and I think it has also been re-verified, which is absurd. I mean, some people literally get suspended permanently and then get the fucking middle finger from Instagram just because they say fuck or just because they say some ridiculous things. Really, sometimes even just in the comments. It's absurd. Now, the last thing that I would like to talk about, and I'm not going to make this video too long. I've seen that already. Plenty of YouTubers already talked about this, and I really wanted to just extend it. Also, to now that everyone is talking about it, I really just wanted to bring attention even to Instagram and Twitter, especially Twitter. Really, the last thing that I want to talk about is the difference between suspension system on Twitter. And I look, honestly, it would not surprise me if it's the same exact thing even on the other social media platforms, especially Instagram. Um, there are definitely two tier systems, right? There are two. It's like the legal system, right? It's as unfair as the legal system. There are very clearly two suspension systems. There is one suspension system for the users that are not verified, and those they just get, you know, they get the automated system. But then for the verified accounts, there is actually someone that checks for them. All right, it's very clear because Donald Trump, for example, Donald Trump. Sorry, my ink just fell. But Donald Trump, for example, should have been already suspended much earlier than when he was suspended. And the same thing goes also for a lot of other content creators and a lot of other users on Twitter. And the same thing also goes even on YouTube. And this is not really just about verified, but it's also about these kind of content creators in particular, which are late night shows. It's very clear that late night show hosts get a lot more leniency when it comes to moderation. They can say a lot of stuff and get away with it. A lot of things that would get anyone else banned. And so this is outrageous. It's pathetic. It's disgusting. It's really infuriating. And it's a shame because everyone already has to deal with this kind of shit in real life, right? With the legal system, right? We all know how unfair the legal system is. So at least one would hope that at least the internet is better than real life when it comes to this. But no, it's the same exact shit. And it's so, so, so infuriating. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching, I guess. I wonder if YouTube is actually gonna do something to this video as well, because this really opens the door now. What if what if YouTube can just start using more draconian techniques and just suspend people that are not good for their business, right? So anyway, this is a bit of a conspiracy theory, of course, but it's not really. I mean, I guess it's really not at this point. So thank you all very much for watching. Thank you all for supporting me on Patreon. The next video will be a video about drawing. I'm not gonna ramble, about this for too long. And thank you all very much for subscribing to my channel. It really means a lot to me. It does help a lot. I would really like to be, a YouTuber, and to be a content creator that, makes a living with YouTube and doing the things that I like to do. But I mean, it's just incredibly worrying to see people just getting suspended or demonetized or whatever for doing extremely mild things, while other people do extremely serious things and nothing happens to them. It's unfair, and it's an injustice, I think. So I think there is nothing else to say. So see you in the next videos.